Alright, so today we're going to be dividing whole numbers with fractions, or fractions with whole numbers. It just depends what they give us. These are the notes that we took in class. First thing you have to do is make two fractions. You're going to keep the first fraction the same. You're going to change the division to multiplication. You're going to flip the second fraction, which we said the fancy word was reciprocal. And then you'll just simplify and multiply like we've been doing. So on our first one, we have 4 divided by 1/2. Well, I don't have two fractions. I have a whole number and a fraction. So what I have to do is I have to change that whole number in a fraction. That's just putting the whole number over 1. So 4 divided by 1 is still 4, but now it's a fraction. So now we can go, we made our two fractions, so now we can go through our list. It says keep the first fraction the same. I'm just going to write 4 over 1. Zoom in a little bit so we can see that. Change the division sign to multiplication, so I'm going to just write multiply, and then flip the second fraction. So 1 over 2, I'm actually going to flip it. It's going to become 2 over 1, and then we just simplify and multiply. Remember, on simplifying the fractions on multiplication problems, you do the top and the bottom, and then the top and the bottom, and then you can go caddy corner. On this one, it's really just 4 times 2. I could simplify it, or I can just go ahead and do the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. 4 times 2 is 8 over 1, and which is 8 divided by 1 is just 8. So our answer is 8. So the second one is 2 divided by 1/8. I'm going to change the 2 to 2 over 1 to make it both fractions. And then we just bring the first one down, 2 over 1. Division sign to multiplication, and then we flip the second one, which is 8 over 1. Then we're ready to multiply. 8 times 2 is 16 over 1, which is just 16. So number 9, I'm going to make that 2 over 1, make it a fraction. So then we have 2 over 1, keep it the same, division sign to multiplication, flip the second number, 3 over 1. All right, so just like before, 3 times 2 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1, 6 over 1 is just 6, and we're finished. Oh, we're flying through these today. 6 over 1 divided by 1/4. So we just bring the first one down, division to multiplication sign, flip the second one, 4 over 1. 6 times 4 is 24 over 1. Which is just 24. All right, over here, we have a fraction times a fraction already, so we can just go ahead and do our process here. So 1 over 3, we just bring it down. That's our first one. Division to multiplication, and then we flip it. 8 over 1. This one cannot be simplified. We have a bunch of 1s. So 8 times 1 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. We have 8 over 3, which is an improper fraction. It's top heavy, so we just need to fix that. We take 8 divided by 3. How many times will 3 go into 8, or how many times will 3 fit into 8? 3, 6, 2. So 2 times 3 is 6. We're left over with 2. Again, our remainder is how many pieces we have left. That is our top number. And then what our divisor is, it's going to come over and be our bottom number. So our answer on this one is 2 2/3. Number 12, we have two fractions. We're going to keep the first two fractions, the first fraction the same. So it's just 1/5. Change the division sign to multiplication, times. Then we're going to flip this. The reciprocal is 8 over 1. 8 times 1 is 8. 5 times 1 is 5. 8 over 5 is an improper fraction. So we do 8 divided by 5. How many times will how many times will 5 go into 8, or how many times will 5 fit into 8? It's once. And we're left with 3. Again, that's how many pieces we have left. That comes up and becomes our numerator. And then our divisor is our denominator. So our answer is 1 3/5. So for this last one, It says Darren is making light switch plates from pieces of wood. He starts with a board that is 18 feet long. How many light switch plates can he make? To me, it sounds like he's cutting the board to make these plates. And so if we're cutting, that's division. So how long is the board? The board is 18 feet. So we're going to start with 18 feet. And we're going to divide this board, and he's making light plate switches. And if we look over here, a light switch plate is 1/3 of a foot for one of them. So each one is 1/3, so we're going to divide it by 1/3. All right, so the first thing we have to do is make two fractions. We have to change this whole number to a fraction, which we just put it over 1. And then, whoops, wow, that was fun. After we made two fractions, we just bring the first fraction, keep the first fraction the same. So it's 18 over 1. Step 2, change the division sign to multiplication. Flip the second fraction, which is 3 over 1. This cannot be simplified. So 18 times 3, well, we don't really know that in our head, at least some of us don't. So we can write it down. 8 times 3, 24. 3 times 1, 3, plus 2, 5, which is 54 over 1, which is 54. But this is a word problem, so it's light switch plates, but this one is multiple choice, so our answer is D, 54 light switch plates.